Let's talk about goal setting today. How many of us actually set goals? Now, I've been off and on in my life in these past 5 years where I've been setting goals, where I'd write them, and sometimes I'll look at them, sometimes I won't, sometimes I'd be more consistent. But for about a really good 38 years of my life, I did not know anything about goal writing. I did not know anything about anything. I didn't never even heard of goal settings. I didn't even know that you can have goals. So then when I learned to have goals, I started writing them. So I started making a list of what it is that I want. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But the really simple way that I'm going to end up talking about and mentioning to you is just take step number one. Step number one is to take a piece of paper and a pen, because when you write things down, a pen and paper have a lot of power to it. Take a pen, take a paper, take 5 minutes or 15 minutes, however time you'd like. Sit down peacefully when you're not in a rush and just write down what are the things that you like to do in your life. What are the things that you'd like to achieve? What are the things that you actually see are possible for you to be able to do or to be or to go? Take a few minutes and just write it down. That's really step number one. Step number two is to be able to review these goals on a regular basis. So some of the time, some people end up saying you want to write it down on a piece of paper and you want to carry it with you and you want to look at it all the time. I have it a little bit differently. I actually have it on a board right in front of me every single day where I work. So when I sit down, I have it staring right in front of me, my goals. So my eyes are constantly reviewing. There's a point in my life where for a few years, what I did is I would actually write my goals twice a day. I would wake up in the morning, I would write my to-do list, my gratitude, and then I write down my goals. But not goals for the day, not to do for the day. Goals like things, crazy things that I'd like to be able to have. And then I would repeat that in the evening time. And sometimes it would take me about a really good 15 minutes. But with you, if you're just starting, just take a piece of paper, take a pen, write down 100 different things that you like to do, even things that are impossible. Let's say you want a perfume named after yourself or a clothing line or whatever it is. Put on your goal list things that are possible, that you believe are possible, things that you believe you could do, you could achieve if you put some work into it, and things that are completely out of your norm that you don't think is possible, but you like to have anyway. Put it on there because you never know what the universe is going to bring you. Step number two is you want to make sure that you're reading it. You're reading your goals every single day or every week or every month. Many of us never write a goal. So when you do write a goal, make sure that you're at least reading it on a regular basis. Whatever those goals may be, maybe what kind of partner you'd like to have in your life, what kind of a job employment, the way you'd like to make money, how you want to make extra money, if you want to be able to have a business, whatever it is, if you want to travel certain destinations. Write down that goal list. Step number one is putting it on paper. And step number two is reviewing it on a regular, consistent basis. Do your best to review it at least 3 times a day. Therefore, its possibility of happening will be much faster. If you don't have time, if you don't believe it in as much, I understand. But at least review it on a regular basis, whatever regular means for you. And step number 3 is you want to be able to go through the goals and give some of them a timeline. Maybe some of them completely crazy, not even possible. Put those in there as well, but put the ones that are possible. Put the ones that, what if you could put in some effort, this could happen in 6 months, or you could see these certain goals happening in 1 year, or you can visualize you want to be able to own a home. Do you visualize it happening within the next 5 to 10 years? So you want to be able to write down next to your goals, when do you think it's possible for these things to be able to happen? 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But put a date on it, because your mind starts to work in mysterious ways when it knows it has a deadline or when it knows it has a certain timeline. It starts to think of ways to bring you closer to those goals. Now, if you say, I want to win $1 million tomorrow, come on, they have to be realistic just a little bit. They have to be within possibility. If you say I want to make $1 million within 10 years, that's possible. If you say I want to make $1 million in 1 day, that's not possible. So you have to allow your mind to be able to have some space to be able to see and believe what is possible for you. So step number 1 is write it down. Make a list of 100 things that are possible, things that are impossible, but put it on the list. Number 2 is review it. Review it on a regular daily basis, possibly twice a day before you go to sleep and when you wake up in the morning. And then on the number 3 is be able to put down the years or the timeline next to your goals. Because when you start putting down a deadline next to your goals, or when do you think it's possible, by what time period you think you can achieve it, its chances of coming to you are much, much higher. And your mind starts to move and give you ideas how to bring you closer to that goal that you'd like to achieve. I hope this helps, guys. It's done wonders, wonders, and wonders for me in my life. I haven't used goal setting in 40 years of my life, and all of a sudden, the last few years, I started using it, and it's been tremendously transformative. And now I make sure that I read my goals every single day in the morning. I read my goals at night, and I make sure that my goals are planted right in front of me where I work. So if I ever look up or I glance away, I make sure I always know what it is that I'm working for, what it is that I'd like to achieve, why is it that I'm here. I hope that helps. I love you.